perks, and I play synthesizer and sequencer and sing.
I'm Mark St. Louis, and I play guitar and I sing. I think it's hit or miss with that. Half the time, just you're really surprised to read the way people interpret your work. And sometimes it's actually interesting. It's sort of like you learn a lot from that. Because it helps you sort of gain perspective on your own work a little bit. But yeah, I'd say like more than half the time it's just what you tend to do doesn't really come across, or at least the way we do things. It's sort of interpreted pretty differently than we'd anticipated.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think, yeah, sure. What Mark said.
Someone said my lyrics were bitchy. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm a
Mark
bitchy
is-
lyricist.
Yeah, Mark's a bitchy lyricist.
I just thought it was funny. Not the comment, but the lyric, a little humor.
It's kind of a bitchy
Yeah.
lyric. I actually don't really read stuff.
Well, you stopped.
I stopped.
You used to read everything.
Yeah.
You can't do this anymore.
And I stopped.
Oh, is it because you
Yeah.
find it
It just unbalances me. Like, I feel like it's just like I don't really need to know what people are saying, even if it's like all like even good stuff, and like I just.
Hey, you don't want that in your
know.
head when
I
you're
don't
like
want it in my
you're
head.
writing stuff,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah,
just
yes,
like
yes.
go into this practice room and just thinking about something you read about yourself and like you
Yeah,
don't want that, or
and
like
like people. Yeah, I just can't. I don't want to feel like there's an expectation to go one way or the other, and I don't want to know what people's expectations are.
Don't you wind up
Because
like-
I want to do what I want to do.
I'm like bitchy lyricist. I'll show you. No, I generally just call it just pop music. It just covers all our influences, sort of all the genres we touch upon. Can all fall under
Just pop music.
exploratory pop music. It's just like going from one type of pop music to another.
Yeah. I mean, it's
not-
like
we're
dark.
not-
It's pretty dark pop music.
We're not doing free jazz. It's pretty
Yeah,
clear
yeah,
that
yeah.
there's a verse and there's a
simple
chorus.
Pop
and, yeah.
song structure there.
Well, we really tried to make like a dancey, or I don't want to say dancey, but like sort of a up-tempo record, but we can't really escape our dark overtones. Like it just always comes through. So what we thought was like a shiny pop record. It's sort of that's sort of how we went into it. Came out like sort of like dancey, dark music. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think what happened was we sort of have always. I mean, it's hard for me to have perspective on this because I feel like I think that there's a really distinctive like Valley sound that's always been there. That like we're always doing the same thing because we're pretty much always doing the same thing, just trying to like make it better, and like trying to you're just kind of always writing the same song, but you're trying to make it better, and it doesn't, and it's like I don't know. And so I feel like what happened was we had a third member, and then he left before Mark and I wrote this record, and we were like, without him, the whole process was like just more immediate, and so like we just that's where like the immediacy of the songs comes from. I think that kind of like just it's there.
And that's where like having going from 3 members to 2, we needed some help from instruments and software and stuff. That's where like the sort of like the drum programming that comes in, and that made it that simplified things also, because we just sort of like it's something to play over when you're like working out songs. So it's just click play, and like it's sort of like in that sense it really sort of I don't know, simplified the writing process too. Because You're just two people in a room, and that's it. And there's
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, it was.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I don't think
I
we
had a
did.
bunch of hooks. I had like half the songs. I mean, we share songwriting, so I had like my batch of songs kind of ready, like because I spent a lot of time by myself. And then I just showed them to Tilly, and she added her stuff. And it just for me, it was sort of they were those songs were alike, you know.
Yeah.
When they're done in like a week or two, it's like a period. You can hear it on the record. There's like that song, and that song. They're kind of like they come from the same place, you know.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't. I wouldn't say there was a theme. It was just more, again, like sort of like up tempo and kind of like very sort of like melody driven
our
pop.
up-tempo, it's funny
I know
'cause
our
a
up
lot of
tempo. Like if
people
we
are
get to 120, we're like that's really fast for us, you know.
we're like, whoa, man. Can you slow that down a little bit? I don't know if I can keep up with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I think we just sort of Mark and I write separately, like our songs separately, and so like they tend to sound a little bit different because
Yeah.
but because my songs are written on a keyboard and Mark's songs are written on a guitar, and like that, and so
Yeah.
it's like more guitar based or like more like synthesizer based. But no, I think like it's what's so good about like playing music with Mark is that I like I just like we have like really the same like taste in music, I think.
Yeah.
And like what we want to do is really similar, so we're like, yeah, that's
Yeah, I guess the goal is kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like more that than the theme or anything. It's just more like where you want to go with it. You
yeah.
know?
Just trying to make something beautiful, man.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's a good goal.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Your track "Undream a Year" ends with sort of like it sounds like an epic movie soundtrack finish,
Right.
basically. If you can look back, is there a film that you would love to write the score for? Like, is there a film that you said that film is so amazing? I wish I could have written the music for that.
Oh man.
Is there
So many.
anything that?
Yeah.
Because that's really what I heard a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like that's sort of a
Yeah.
movie soundtrack. Like if you take certain
Yeah.
elements out, you'd end up with like the perfect movie soundtrack. But
Yeah.
what movie design?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
elements? Because I want to. What would you suggest that we take out? Because I do like just want to write movie soundtracks. Like,
Oh, well, that
would
was
be
part of this
amazing.
question. It was, is there a film genre you'd like to write music for?
Oh, a film genre?
Yeah, like horror movies or
Yeah.
Yeah.
romance movies or.
Oh, I think it would be like some sort of really broken.
Yeah, the saddest romantic comedy. The most heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. I don't know, a movie that you would have liked to write the score to.
Wild at Heart. That was.
Any Lynchian, any Lynch film.
It's really funny because that's what I pictured. That sort of like David Lynchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. That would be so cool. Also, he does TM.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting.
But they came up when we were doing like more on our older EPs and our old record and stuff like, or we sort of like when Pascal was still in the band, like we talked about Angelo Badalamenti a lot too. Like it's like actually
yeah.
the music from Lynch films is like informed a lot of what we do.
Yeah.
Sort of like the space it creates.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
Twin Peaks. And we talked about Twin Peaks
Yeah,
a lot
it just
too.
comes up all the time like, over the years.
Yeah. Yeah, for some reason that's sort of like how like we developed our like aesthetic for this project.
It
I
got
think it was
earlier
just
on.
because
This sort of
we
like
were watching
eerie
TV.
and ecstatic at the same time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's good to remember. Yeah.
Well, there you go. We can call out to movie directors. Send
David
your stuff
Lynch.
over.
It's
Well, if you've heard the record, it's louder.
louder.
It's just bigger live, and it's got. I mean, we're just
It's more stripped down live, but
stripped down, louder, and more energetic, I guess.
yeah.
We've been, you play the songs a few hundred times, they change, right? So we're at this point where we're having fun with them. I think.
Yeah, and we get to see Mark's awesome hair live, all in his face. Someone like in the UK somewhere
Don't
was
remember.
like, "Ah, you're ever? Oh no, that was in Chicago. you have amazing hair.
I don't remember that
And
at
Mark
all.
was like, which one of us? And she was like, you. And I was like, oh, God. Always second fiddle, but fucking Mark's on.
Awesome.
I do.
Say yours. Mine's mixed. I don't know which one was first, but
I'll tell you what my first concert was. Let me tell you what my first two concerts were. The first one was actually the Bare Naked Ladies when I was in grade 3.
Won't do so.
You're so unimpressed right now. You're like, oh, I was hoping you were gonna be cool. But I was like super young. My sister got tickets, and like it was like at a theater, and I was like, and it's kind of like it was like kind of good kids music. The second show I ever went to was Eric's Trip, and that was of my own volition in like 7th grade. Yeah.
I can't remember whether. Because I'm thinking I was probably in like grade 6 or 7, and that seems late for a first concert, but it would have been like Young MC. Like, and it was like one of these bills with like Maestro Fresh West, maybe, I think. And
This is a throwdown, a showdown. Hell no, I can't slow down. It's gonna go.
one of those like pop
Sounds likely.
pop things, like around 1989 or something. That would have been that. Or I mean, I remember seeing Milli Vanilli. That was early on too.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Mark, come on.
I mean, that's pretty crazy. Think about it. Yeah, that's like, saw that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Maybe that was the same show. Who knows? I don't know.
The Triple Bell? Could have been.
There was on the Eric's Trip. It was like Eric's Trip and like Plumtree
Oh yeah.
that were playing. And then I remember there was a band called the Purple Groove Monsters in Halifax, and I like loved them. I like listened to the tape all the time. Yeah.
Or one of them.
Received as a gift, maybe.
Sure.
I got taped. I got the soundtrack.
If you liked it,
the
I guess.
soundtrack for Flashdance
Oh.
and something. I was like 5 years old. No. Anyway, and Corey Hart's "Boy in a Box."
When I go out, I can see the world from inside.
Those are the two first tapes I got. I think it was my 7th birthday. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really remember. Like, I'm sure I didn't buy music before, like, consciously before I was 12. But, like, I had, like, you know, like, George Michael and, like, On Vogue or something. And then, but then when I, like, went and bought music, like, I remember seeking out Nirvana. I think it was probably Nevermind or something. That was the first thing that I actually sought
Yeah,
out.
when I
which is
started,
obvious.
yeah, when I went to buy things, I guess I was like around 10. That's when I was buying like Poison and Bon Jovi and all those.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah.
That also happened. Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, for the longest time, I was like, I bought Pavement's Crooked Rain, and that was just my favorite for a decade or more. Like, so I just remember it's probably the album I know best, like through and through. I'd have to just say that. Yeah.
Cool.
I like have no.
No idea.
There's too
It's
much.
I know.
Like it's just too much.
Okay.
And I. Like
That's
I have
fine.
no idea. Because you know when you're young, like when you're
Yeah.
really young, you like music that that you're just like this is like mine.
Yes.
Like PJ Harvey's Dry was really like really awesome for me, and it continues to be really awesome for me. Like I just love that fucking record. But also, there's a lot. There's just a lot. I can't. Then I just feel like
Yeah.
it's too much. But yeah, that was really like that was an important record for me. Just because like, but I don't think it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite ever record. I don't have a favorite ever record.
You know, that's tricky because it's not necessarily like someone whose music you like more than others. You'd have to think of like who's an interesting musician, right? Like, or interesting
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And like I also don't like my initial thing is like, oh, maybe Michael Jura and like Kurt Cobain. But my problem is that Kurt Cobain like probably wouldn't be totally like that interesting to have dinner with because he probably wouldn't talk very much. And Michael Cera is like really scary. And like, but I'm interested in like if I could somehow like hear their like the inner thoughts maybe more so than have dinner because that just sounds really awkward.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It depends what
another
kind of
version.
dinner I want to have. I kind of want to say Kanye West.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
I want to have dinner with Kanye
But
West.
like, I don't know if you, well, how would that go? I have no idea. Like, maybe he just wouldn't shut up, and then you'd gotta get tired
He
of
wouldn't.
listening to him. Like, so I don't
He'd
know.
be like, man, I'm listening to my songs. Do you see that? Is he on Sorry? Like,
Yeah.
it's like
We'd be listening to his album.
own songs. Yeah, like maybe like I'd be interested in like having like dinner with Patti Smith probably too. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Patti Smith is super cool. Like,
Yeah, that's a good one. I'd go with that one.
yeah.
That's cool. Now,
I kind of wanted to be a filmmaker for a long time, like when I was an adolescent. Yeah.
I never had any ambition. I wanted to work at a gas station. Like I wanted to pump gas because I really like the smell of gas. And and I thought that my grandfather worked at a gas station, but he didn't. He just worked for Sunoco. But I grew up as a Buddhist, and my parents were very like, they were like, oh well, like what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to be an actress, or like I want to like, you know, I like danced, and they would be like, yeah, but you know what, like it's not gonna make you happy, so. And so everything I wanted to do, they'd be like, it's just not gonna make you happy. I think they wanted me to be like, I want to be a nun, like I want to be a Buddhist nun, and I'm gonna, and there's always time for that actually. It's actually what I think I would do. So like, gas station attendant, or like just a nun. Yeah.
I think it's, I don't know, I've been doing it for a while, so it's sort of, it's just seemed like
Yeah,
a natural
everybody knew.
progression. Yeah.
You weren't like, hey guys, guess what? I'm a musician.
Yeah, I didn't come out. Like,
I don't,
just wearing a guitar in the
Yeah.
closet. Oh.
yeah. I don't have any musicians in my family except for my nephew, who like I have very old parents, or old father, and he's got some kids who are much older, and so I have a nephew that's like sort of like close in age to me, and he lives in California and he's a musician, but no one else in my family is a musician, and we weren't really like, my family's not like a musical family, so I think people were like, what are you doing? That's weird. Like you could have, like there are dancers in my family and there's like, you know, nurses, but like, and so I think, you know, they were like, what is that? But they are all so weird, so driftery, so like such bohemian people that they're like, yeah, of course, don't make any money with your life. Stay up till 6 o'clock in the morning every night. This is good. Like, yeah, like they don't care.
Are they?
They're super supportive.
They're supportive.
Well,
Is your family supportive as well?
yeah.
Oh, good.
My dad keeps trying to get me to like, because he has his own religion, which is called Celtic Buddhism, and he keeps trying to get me to like do like Celtic Buddhist songs. Like he's like, you know, Christian rock bands like really do really well. You should consider doing like some weird Celtic Buddhist song. And I'm like, Dad, that's just like truly crazy. Like, super weird. But he's like really supportive. My mom is like, so yeah.
I can't remember.
Was there a best that stands out?
Not really. There's not really a best that stands out, but I like your questions. I like being asked like about like your life a little bit, so that people can have a sense. People don't do that a lot, you know. Like you get a lot of like, okay, so what are your influences? Name your influences, which is cool. And like, and then I'm always like running out. I'm like, whoa, what are my?
Throw in some weird ones every
Yeah,
now and
just
then.
like, and then bare naked lady. No. But yeah, maybe. I don't know.
What was I don't remember the question, but I answered ask your mom.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of
Well,
funny.
Mark
But
does
that was
like
just,
all the online stuff, and he's like really
That was a
kind
funny
of like.
question. So
It was like, what? Is there something about you that
oh yeah, that's
you want
right.
to tell?
Something about you that no one knows.
No one knows.
Yeah.
And Mark was like, ask your mom. And then
that became
but it was like
a-
online, and
Then
you
I
thought
sent
it
it, and I
was
was
a
like,
guy,
and
and it was a woman interviewer,
Oh, yeah,
and you were
that's
like,
right,
and then you
yeah.
were like, oh, I just kind of feel like,
I feel
like,
rude.
like rude right now.
I don't know. I think I always want people to just like sort of not write us off as some depressoid kind of band, but
Oh,
like,
yeah.
but I don't know if I'm in a position to ask people to do that because I don't have the right objectivity when it comes to like listening to our music. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of
Yeah.
like maybe it is depressing. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no,
You know?
I think we're not. I think. I mean, I have different. Obviously, I have different like. Yeah, it's hard to have perspective, but I feel like it's not depressing. Like this isn't. We're not trying to make you depressed. Like there's like some sadness going on, but never like depressing.
Yeah, I guess if you could say that.
Yeah.
It's like
Like we're.
listen closely. It's uplifting. You know, like something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, we like.
Well, it's actually funny because I don't find it. I find because there's the two sides that it actually I shouldn't say the opposite. But actually, they almost like balance each other.
Right.
So it's kind of like eerie and creepy, but at the same time, it's got the happy beat behind it. So
Right.
Yeah.
it sort of like balances it out
Cool.
to an equilibrium. So
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
I don't cry in the corner when I listen. So.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's really good. Oh, why?
The live show, everyone's like crying, facing the other way, crying.
Yeah, that's not happening. Yeah.